It's Sunday night, 9 o'clock. Welcome to All Lacrosse Live. I'm Gary Groob in Toronto. With me, as always, I have Shawn Slaght over in Moose Jaw. Shawn, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, thanks, Gary.
Excellent. And I have Muffler Mike over in Connecticut. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Hey. A week removed from the NLL finals, and everybody's got their smiles back on. Look at that. Excellent. We got a busy week even without NLL stuff because now WLA is in full swing. MSL has started up. OJLL's come full circle now. Senior, they've been going. Everybody's getting moving, and the PLL starts up again next week. Plus, we've had a whole weekend of NCAA tournament victors and one more big one to go. Just before we get started, a reminder to everybody that all of our shows are streamed live across Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and also Twitch. And you can catch all the action on EOPsports.com. Remember to hit the subscribe, follow, and like buttons, and always share. As you see on our screen, there are many shows for everybody every day of the week. So please give them a look and, let's subscribe and follow everything, guys. There's some great shows in there. Trending in the AM is just taken off like a hotcakes, man. It's just wild. And, of course, my favorite is still Steel Steps on Friday night, other than, of course, us on Sunday nights. If you missed a show, no worries. You can grab all the podcasts on all the major podcasting companies, which include Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, and so much more. Plus, you can go to the EOP YouTube page at EOP Sports and catch anything from anybody. And if you're looking for us in particular, please go to our YouTube page at All Across All the Time, in which you can catch any of our shows from our library. Plus, you can catch at least 25 or 30 retro games, interviews, press conferences, all kinds of stuff. Remember, you can stay up to date with all sports by visiting EOPsports.com with great articles from our huge staff of contributors. While you're there, please subscribe to our newsletter. Well, a few little news bits to remind everybody of. Of course, the McDougall Memorial fundraiser is coming up July 6th. That's at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center. There you got a 3 o'clock junior A game. You got a celebrity game at 6 p.m. with all kinds of great stars from all over the place. Hockey, lacrosse, yesteryear, this year. Everybody's in there. It's a great time for everybody. And the games are a lot of fun. Plus, they're fairly competitive, too. You got a silent auction in there. Lots of great stuff there. I picked up a number of great things over the last couple of years. Beer garden, live music, all kinds of things. Again, not expensive. I think $10 is all it costs to get in there. Definitely worth your time. Definitely worth your money. And give a kid a chance because it's all going to minor lacrosse. Also a reminder that a couple of weeks after that, I believe the 20th of July, in Philadelphia, Fan Cup 2024 will be taking place. Yours truly will be on the Roadies team. Remember our saying there, guys. Win or lose, we drink the booze. Definitely the style of lacrosse you're going to be seeing, especially after the Friday night get-together and then Saturday morning early, the tournament starts. So you know how that's going to go. Good luck to those teams playing the first game. Been there, done that. Thank you, no thank you. Also, Lacrossing Barriers, they have their inclusive day camps. Now, this is great. July 2nd to 5th, August 6th to 9th, and August 26th to 30th. I believe they're all in Alberta, but more camps coming everywhere across Canada, and they're trying to get out to the U.S. as well. Again, fully inclusive. All abilities and all possibilities day camps. Designed to allow anybody who chooses to learn, laugh, and play. Camps will guide everyone who comes to participate the way they need. Ages 5 and up. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Extra options for drop-offs and pickups. Definitely worth it. You'd want to talk or email Scott at lacrossingbarriers.org for more information or to register. Worthwhile for everybody. You don't have to be handy-capable. Everybody. It works for everybody. And you can find that you can actually tutor. You can actually be a mentor. You can actually have a whole lot of fun because these guys are fantastic. So just something to keep thinking. The movie Rules of Lacrosse and Men Who Break Them. Now, they've been in the film festivals and all that. It is a free community event coming to the Brantford Collegiate Institute and Vocational School, May 31st at 6 p.m. To register, visit grandery.ca/lacrosse or scan the QR code that's here if you can get it. But just go visit grandery.ca/lacrosse to register. Again, it's free. The movie is spectacular. I'm actually in the credits, which is also great. But Joanne did a great job of interviews and putting it together in all the different sections. And man, one of my favorite parts of that movie was listening to Gaylord Palace in his own words, talking about era that he was playing it. Just amazing. You read up on guys so much, and a little before my era, just before my era, but to listen to him talk about it was riveting. Let alone having Gretzky on there and a number of other people on there throughout the movie. Pretty amazing. If you have a chance to see it, you don't want to miss it. And hopefully it's going through this. This is the start, not the end. It'll be going through U.S. and Canada, trying to get more views on it, because it really is, when we're talking about the history of lacrosse, and to grow, you got to know where you came from. This is a great tool to show people exactly where this game had come from and where it's headed. So please give it a look if you can. Hey, we got some people with us. Look at that, man. Dave, we're doing great.
Nice to
Dave.
How are you?
Doing good.
Things are good.
And what's going on? Hope you guys are well. We are very well. Thank you, Brian. Eduardo's back home, man. The New Orleans trip was obviously a good time. Coming from St. Augustine. Man, we get around, don't we? We're all over the place. But we had an announcement this week from Max Adler. Now, he didn't play this year with the Bandits, but Max Adler's hanging him up. Playing lacrosse at the highest level has been a dream come true. I am filled with gratitude as I reflect on my career while announcing my retirement from playing professional lacrosse. I've had the privilege of experiencing some of the best moments of my life on the lacrosse field, and I owe a great deal of my success to the unwavering support of numerous individuals throughout my journey. Kiki Bosch, thank you for introducing me to this incredible sport. Coach Jim Murphy for believing in me and providing me with the opportunity to play at Bentley University. Chris Marmiani for your dedication and guidance in teaching me the nuances of the game. Joe Nardella for being a mentor both on and off the field. Coach Jimmy Pendergrass, your expertise in strength and conditioning has been instrumental in my ability to perform at my best. BJ O'Hara, Tony Seaman, John Cohen, and Mac Freeman, I am forever grateful for the chance you took on me and allowing me the privilege to play for the Denver Outlaws. Andy Towers, your leadership in the PLL has been inspiring and unforgettable. To John Tavares, Chugger, and Eric Vince, thank you for the opportunity to represent the Buffalo Bandits in the NLL and for the incredible experience of winning a championship for the city of Buffalo. Buffalo is is a place where the best fans in any sport call home. Bandit Land holds a special place in my heart, and I am grateful for their unwavering support. Pretty amazing career. He's been working at ESPN behind the scenes, so I'm assuming his role has gotten bigger there. So we wish him all the best. Well, guys, there was this little tournament that was going on this weekend over in Philadelphia. And I know it because Pat kept sending us pictures of the spread and the food. So it was something big. The bigger the food table, the bigger the event, right? World Lacrosse and went through 3 different stadiums. So but this in particular, man. You mentioned the man's name, and here he is. Pat.
Big of the devil.
Well, gentlemen,
We're just talking about the spread of food over there, and it's a big event when the table is long.
yes.
When they give you just a little bit of popcorn and cookies, you're talking about maybe a D6 game. But when you start showing, the steaks and the sausage and the other stuff, and when you show 14 TVs in there, so you don't have to leave while you keep your food on.
Hey, listen,
You're in the right spot.
I didn't miss anything this weekend. Anything. It was great. I had a ball. Believe it or not, this has got to be, to me, the best weekend. You got to remember, I haven't seen what you call good lacrosse. there's a team across the street at the Wells Fargo Center. I don't know what good lacrosse is. So I got to witness live some good lacrosse. And no, to be honest with you, this has been phenomenal. I mean, today alone in that Division III game was just, if you like high power offense, and that's where I'm going to go today. I mean, between RIT Tigers and what's it, the Juggalos, I mean, yeah, Jumbos. I mean, they were going back and forth. I mean, high scoring offenses. A kid named Charlie don't mind me if I butcher his name, but Charlie Fertoli or something like that. But he was really sharp. Again, 3-4 goals today. I asked him right off the press. I mean, he put up a hat trick. He was really a solid player for them. Tigers would come back. I mean, phenomenal stuff all up to the end. Tigers were, run out of speed. They got tired. And then you have the Jumbos took over from there and won the game. But, March 16th, the RIT Tigers actually beat the Jumbos 11-6. So actually, it was a little bit of revenge in this game.
Nice. That sounded great. Actually, I had a friend of mine over there from Rochester come up for it. Tim Nab was over there for it. So he was posting up stuff during the day. But a few of our guys from Philly were in there too. So a few of the wing nuts were there.
Yeah,
so it was pretty cool with that. But that was a high powered game. The other one that got me was the Adelphi game, and of course Adelphi wins the D2 men's championship, and that one kept going back and forth, and really the winner, Adelphi pulled it out in the end. It didn't look like it for a while, and that fourth was just incredible.
Yeah, just like I said, just incredible stuff though from the whole weekend. That game, another game. I don't want to go too far ahead though. I mean, the game from yesterday was pretty good. Again, watching Notre Dame, just a complete team like Notre Dame. A complete team like Notre Dame. Just all four. I mean, they don't miss a beat, those guys. Like I was saying to the one guy in the elevator, I think he was from Maryland, but I said, look, I hope I'm wrong, but I think Notre Dame's going to mop the floor with Maryland. I'm not trying to. It's just they got the Cavano brothers. You got Pat and Chris, who both put up a hat trick in this game. I mean, it was just solid. Those guys, man, they were just on point. I mean, just they get aggressive. That's one thing about Notre Dame's playbook. They're just aggressive. They create their own shots, and then they wind up doing some good ball movement. They pick you apart. They find guys low in the paint. They make some scores there, and like I said, they were just aggressive, just creating their own shot and just being. They just know how to cut to the net. And then you have the one kid. He's the Notre Dame's top wideout. So. He's a playmaker himself, so I mean, either way, they're gonna. I think they're gonna coast through this thing tomorrow.
Right. Well, last year was a surprise when they won. This year it wouldn't be a surprise. They are a hell of a team, and to repeat really wouldn't be that big of a surprise. Now we also had the women's stuff going on there. Tampa won the Division II championship. Again, they had a great season and they had a great finish. And really deserved that championship. But the big one, of course, and we played the little clip of them winning at the opening of the show, was, of course, Boston College, and them winning their championship, and Kayla Martello being the most outstanding player. She was just phenomenal in this game.
Yeah, and a little bit of revenge for them. After last year losing to Northwestern.
Yeah.
And this is actually their third straight final. They lost to North Carolina 2 years ago. So
they finally get a chance to raise that trophy.
Yes.
And hence the celebration. And of course, if you missed it, here's about 10 seconds of it. Just. Yeah. After a couple of times of being a bridesmaid and not the bride, I imagine it's that much sweeter to actually get that thing up in the air. So all in all, a great one. You're there tomorrow for the big one there, Pat?
I'll be there. The set is staged. This, I can't wait. I'm going to be jonesing to get down there super early. I mean, this is going to be really really good. I mean, I imagine, believe it or not, I mean the attendance was pretty tight last year. This time it grew. I mean, now you got 2 levels full of capacity. I imagine Maryland being right down the road. Tons of Notre Dame fans. I'd imagine the link is going to be packed tomorrow. The link is going to be packed for this prime time.
32,000 for this, so that's pretty amazing.
The only thing you could play. The only thing that could play in effect is the weather. It looks like there's going to be a couple. It might be raining tomorrow, so I don't know if they're going to push the game back. But I hope not. I hope it's the 1 o'clock start time, and I hope it gets rocking and rolling on time. So I mean, but like I said, you got to look out for that Notre Dame team. I was just blown away what they would be able to do, what they want to do with the ball, and they got listened in order to run back to back. That's something amazing themselves. I mean, they got great coaching over there, just great coaches. They got great players, young, and ready to make ready for the next move. So I can't wait for it.
Now you should be there about 9 o'clock in the morning and check out all the partying and all the tailgating, because that's going to be humongous.
Yeah.
That's going to be something to behold, and that's going to be something picture and video worthy, because there's going to be all kinds there and from everywhere. So that should be just an absolute thing to behold.
And it's funny now because, like I said, I'm more and more getting more and more in love with the sport, and now I want to keep my eye on see where these young kids get drafted to, whether they go PLL, whether they go NLL. I'm curious to know, and I'm curious to know if Paul Day has spent any kind of time looking at all the action over here, and maybe this will incite him as far as getting a head coach and bring him in, because I mean the coaching on however you want it is doing phenomenal. I mean the coach for Notre Dame, the coach for Denver, who made a great splash, even these D3, D2 coaches. I mean, the coaching looks really, really sharp. So I'm curious to know if Paul Day would open his book and maybe want to interview one of these guys.
Right. The interesting thing there is, for years, the NCAA didn't allow any sponsors in there for their championships. They do now. And the Philly Water Dogs took advantage of that and were handing things out, and they were, putting out for raffles for jerseys and things like that. The Philadelphia Wings, nobody saw anything of them. Now, granted, it's box, not field, but it's a prime opportunity to talk to 30,000 more lacrosse people and try and get some people out to your games. And I figure that's an opportunity missed, if that's true.
Yeah, Gary. I mean, good point, because like you said, the War Dogs out there, getting their name out there. This was an opportunity for the NLL, the Wings front office, to get out there. Yeah, hey, let's just start talking to some people, try and bring attention to you. I mean, the only thing I heard about the Wings is when I got somebody was breaking my chops up in the press box, saying, "Look, there goes a guy made it." I said, "Stop! We don't this is in the past now. We don't have to rehash it. Leave me alone. Thank you."
Cruel up in the press box, man, especially between meals, Right?
Yeah.
I almost dropped his napkin. That's how upset he got at the one. Damn near dropped his napkin.
Well, I did impress a couple people, because they have I've shown clips and pictures of you guys, and I got an Italian sausage, not one, but I put 2 in there, and I had all the beat reporters looking at me like, "You're going to really eat that?" I said, "Yep," and I just jammed it in there. Just gonna.
Nothing like making your mark.
No.
Well, if you could serve it to somebody in a lacrosse stick, it would be even better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be pretty dope. That would be pretty dope. Just eating your breakfast out of a lacrosse stick. We're gonna have to try that. I'm gonna have to try that on the. I'm gonna have Mike Laro do that on PM and the AM. Have him do that.
I'll give you a hint there to unscrew the shaft out of there. Just use it.
It'll be like feeding my cat. That's all.
You can do that. Yeah. Save yourself from bending over. Hey, it was like the COVID times when people didn't want to get too close, so they used the lacrosse stick to hand the
There you go.
Yep.
cash machine.
It'd be like a big fork for Mike. He'll like it. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, though, but back to these games, man. It's tomorrow's going to be a showdown, nonetheless. I mean, Notre Dame, Maryland. It should be a classic, nonetheless. I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm like I said, Joseph, but I'm curious to know how this Notre Dame team will they be challenged? I mean, because it looked like Denver was going to give them a dogfight until that half, and then after the first half, man, it just became a one-sided show, and Notre Dame just took liberties on them. And again, just got playmaker after playmaker, ball movement, getting aggressive. And at that time, I think the spotlight became a little too big for Denver, and they didn't know how to adjust in the moment. So I'm curious to know,
Notre Dame is
what
such
will
a
happen
deep team. They're just such a deep team, and they've actually gotten stronger from last year. A lot of the teams that win, they lose a good chunk of their players. Notre Dame actually got stronger and much more confident and much more seasoned. Yeah. So this is this is kind of reminds me of the Maryland team that won a couple of years back. That was just absolutely peak. And you look at how many guys went pro, probably 85% of that team. So take a look at Notre Dame, the dynasty that's in the makings here.
Running back to back, it's impressive. It's impressive. Dynasty teams are like you said, I know Notre Dame's notorious for their football program and their hockey program, but I mean, open your eyes now because that lacrosse program of theirs is eye popping. And like you said though, and I'm a little disappointed in Virginia Tech because I thought back in my mind I'm like, yeah, they're going to look for the rematch against Notre Dame, and no. There is going to be no rematch because Notre Dame bumped them out at the Final Four last year. So I'm thinking there's going to be a little grit, and no, Maryland just got by them, and now here we are.
Right. Well, it's going to be interesting. So good luck tomorrow.
Yes.
Get your rest because it's going to be an early day and a long day, and especially
bicep curls.
The celebration down the road will be a little bit fun too. So
yeah, a lot of hammer curls with the fork. A lot of hammer curls. Don't
forget to get the shoulders loose because all the
yeah, going to be cutting shoulder workouts. The gobbler will be in full effect. So
awesome. Well, Pat, that's awesome.
And don't forget, next week the gobbler will be ready. PLL. Water Dog Central. Come get all your information right here.
Excellent. Because we start this coming weekend, so we're all
yes.
Ready.
Yes, we are. I'm ready to go.
Our pick'ems will be up on Friday, so make sure we got them in early. So excellent. All righty.
Oh, and before I log out of here with you guys, I did say last week or last time I was on with you guys, I did say the Buffalo Bandits were going to show their the veteranship, they were going to take two away, that they were going to win both games, to win the NLL championship. I was like, I think I called that one, but not to just toot my own horn, but to.
Yeah, well, we've gone past that one now. We're in the 2024-2025 now. In the NLL season. We're just waiting on a few free agency things now.
Well,
free agency is
I hear you.
Very soon. So, as soon as one's over, right now we're in the heart of summer ball, so everybody's spread out all over the place. So it's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's one sport where there is, well, other than pro wrestling, it's the one sport where there's no off season because as one ends, one starts up. PLL starts up, summer ball starts up. They finish, and we're back into the Worlds this time around. That finishes up, we're back into training camp. The NLL goes again. So it's just a constant 12-month cycle now. So
gotta love it.
As a fan, man, you can't beat it.
No, not at all. You can't beat it. You're getting tons of lacrosse again. The sport's growing. As a matter of fact, I went to one of my cousin's barbecue late last night, and believe it or not, his little buddy and his dad are going to be going to. They're going to be coming to the game tomorrow. So they're big lacrosse fans, and so yeah, The sport is growing little by little, but like I said, big difference from last year this year, as far as you can see in the stands how big the sport's growing.
Awesome. Thanks, Pat. Looking forward to getting your report from tomorrow's game. Should be exciting. Looking forward to some of the video clips also from the tailgating and some of the other events out there. So cool, man. Thanks.
All right, you got it, guys.
All right, that was Pat, and he's been busy all weekend doing the NCAA thing. And man, talk about good game after good game after great game after great game. Just amazing. And it just goes to show just how athletic these guys are. And it doesn't matter anymore, box or field. There used to be quite the divide of whether you're a field guy or a box guy. Now, the way these guys are and the athleticism of these guys, just give them a stick and a jersey and tell them whether there's boards or not, and away they go. So
definitely.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn around here a little bit, and we're going to go into junior. We're going to start with the West, Shawn.
All right.
And see what's cooking out there, and how our junior teams are doing.
That sounds good. Maybe we'll start off in Alberta. Where did we leave off last time? I guess there was a 3-game series last weekend between the Mounties and the SWAT. Mounties ended up sweeping the 3-game series. We mentioned the last time it was 8-4 for the Mounties on Saturday. Sunday, as our show was going on, the Mounties took that game 11-8. And then on Monday, the Mounties took an 11-9 win to sweep that series. Then heading into this weekend, the SWAT were in Edmonton. They dropped an 11-4 decision to the Miners. And then we've had Friday night, 14-6 win, the Raiders over the Calgary Mounties. And then last night, a rough outing for the Saskatchewan SWAT as they dropped a 19-2 decision to the Edmonton Miners. A couple of games that happened this afternoon, the Miners and SWAT and the Raiders and Mounties are still waiting on scores on those. Good old Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League website. Coming up next weekend, Saturday, we have the SWAT are in Calgary to take on the Raiders. The Miners are also in Calgary to take on the Mounties. And then we also have the SWAT against the Mounties on Sunday, and the Miners and the Raiders also on Sunday. So looking at those standings, you have the Miners now sitting at 4-0. Calgary really starting to pull away in the standings. The Mounties are sitting at 3-2. The Raiders are 1-1, and the Saskatchewan SWAT are still finding their first win at 0-5. Over to BC. No shortage of junior lacrosse action there too. Tuesday we had a 13-6 New West over Langley, then a 12-6 Nanaimo over Victoria. Friday a couple 13-5 scores. We had Coquitlam over Langley, and then Port Coquitlam defeated New Westminster. And then last night we saw Victoria take an 11-6 win over Port Coquitlam, and then Delta defeated Burnaby 12-10. Then just this afternoon we saw a 16-13 high-scoring affair with Burnaby taking the win over Victoria, and Nanaimo defeating New Westminster this afternoon 9-5. So coming up, a busy week in BC Junior Lacrosse coming up. Tuesday, we have Burnaby against New West. Wednesday, Burnaby's at it again against Langley. Thursday, we have Coquitlam against Langley. Friday, it'll be Burnaby against Port Coquitlam. Then a busy weekend. Saturday, Coquitlam against Nanaimo. New Westminster against Victoria. And then Sunday, Nanaimo and Port Coquitlam. And then Victoria against Langley. So over to the standings, Nanaimo is really starting to run away with it. They're 5-0, haven't lost yet. Then we have Coquitlam at 3-1, Port Coquitlam's 3-2, Victoria 3-3, Burnaby is 2-2, Delta is 1-3, New Westminster is 1-3, and then Langley also still looking for their first win at 0-4.
Wow. busy out there in the West.
Yeah, a lot of
Busy
games.
week in the East also. This is a great week. Everything got rolling full speed now. In junior, I was lucky enough back on the holiday Monday here in Canada. I was up in Six Nations for the Chiefs game in the evening, but I got up there early, so I was able to catch the Six Nations Arrows and the Burlington Blaze game. Man, was that ever a great game! Six Nations wound up coming ahead with an 8-6 victory, but boy, oh boy, these guys are going to be prominent in this year's OJLL and the upcoming season. I'm telling you, man, great lacrosse. On Tuesday, Whitby and Orangeville, two former Minto Cup champions, met up with one another, and it was Orangeville that came up ahead of Whitby, 11-8 over in Whitby. Wednesday, you had Toronto take on St. Catharines, and the Beaches wound up being victors 12-7. Thursday, you had the Oakville Buzz start their season, and they played Whitby, and they beat them 10-8. That's another sleeper team that's going to be really, really good. I think the Oakville Buzz were on the verge of something big last year and more or less just ran out of gas, but I think this year they're on to something. So the Mimico Mounties took Kitchener to school. It was a 19-7 drubbing. So Kitchener is still finding their way, but Mimico is looking strong also. So there's some great talent going on. Burlington played again later that week. They played Toronto, and Toronto came away with another victory, 12-9, and that's beating the Minto Cup defending champions. So that's nothing to sneeze at, guys. Brampton joined in, and the Excelsiors played the Northmen, and they beat them 8-6 over in Brampton to start their season off. So all kinds of things going on here, back and forth, different things. Peterborough and Six Nations played on Friday. And again, Six Nations came away with a narrow 9-8 victory. Just wild. Over the weekend, we had St. Catharines and Mimico in a slobber knocker. It was 14-13 for Mimico, just edging St. Catharines over in the Mimico barn. And if you've ever had a chance to get to that place, man, I'm telling you, I love going there. First off, the best female sandwiches in the world. And secondly, old barn, old school, great place to watch lacrosse. Lastly, we had a couple more games left. We had Six Nations and Oakville playing, and another near thing there was 8-7 for Six Nations. All these nail biters that Six Nations is in. I think the only game they won by more than one was the Burlington one, but they are 3-0. So figure that. Kitchener and Orangeville, and another drubbing. Orangeville beat them 14-7 this afternoon. So if we're looking at the standings, let me just pull them up for you. You'll see that Six Nations is up with 3 wins. Mimico with 2 wins. Toronto Beaches with 2 wins. The Northmen are there at 2-1. Oakville at 1-1. Brampton at 1-2. Burlington at 1-2. St. Catharines at 1-2. Peterborough 0-1. Whitby 0-2, and Kitchener 0-2. So interesting how that's not quite the way we've seen it in years past. But man, I tell you, it's going to be a busy, busy week again. Having a look at this week's schedule, you have starting tomorrow. Toronto is at Peterborough for an 8 o'clock game. Burlington on Tuesday is playing Whitby in Whitby. Wednesday, you have Six Nations playing Kitchener. And also you have Brampton playing St. Catharines. Thursday, the Excelsiors are playing in Oakville, as well as St. Catharines playing against Toronto in Toronto. And Friday, you have the Whitby Warriors playing Kitchener and Six Nations playing Burlington, as well as Mimico playing Orangeville. And then Sunday, there are 3 games on the docket. Oakville playing Burlington, Kitchener playing Six Nations, 4 games, I'm sorry. Whitby playing Mimico, St. Catharines playing Orangeville. So a huge week coming up in junior. Not nearly as busy a week for the Ontario Series lacrosse. We had a great game on Friday. Friday night, we had the Brooklyn Merchants playing the Owen Sound North Stars. And this game was back and forth. It looked for a while that Brooklyn was going to run away with it. Owen Sound pulled together a strong third, the beginning of the third period, to tie it up with a couple of goals. Zach Kerrigan scored with about 4 or 5 minutes into the third period, and that was all she wrote. It was 12-11 for Brooklyn over Owen Sound, and just a hell of a game. Just a hell of a game. Both teams are fantastic. Clearview and Ennismore played the first of two games last night. Clearview wound up coming out with an 8-5 victory on the strength of a 5-goal run that went from the last little bit of the second period into the beginning of the third. That was just a little bit too much for Ennismore to overcome. They got a couple of goals late, but it was too little too late. Their defense is good. Their scoring still is finding its way. Once that catches fire, Ennismore is going to be a team worth watching. But until then, they're relying a lot on their goaltending and defense, and it's not working out that great. At the moment, there is a game going on. Still, it is 3-2 for Clearview over Ennismore heading into the third period. Again, we're talking about the defense. The defense in Ennismore is strong. So, upcoming this week, Friday, Clearview is against Brooklyn in Brooklyn. Six Nations is playing Owen Sound. That's going to be a heck of a game in Owen Sound. 6 o'clock start if you can make it out there. And Ennismore is playing Hamilton in Hamilton on the Saturday night. Also, another one that's a worthwhile game to watch. On Sunday, you have Brooklyn against Owen Sound in Owen Sound. 5 o'clock game if you can make it Eastern. It's another one that's going to be worthwhile to watch. Two extremely strong offensive teams facing one another. So there's going to be a lot of scoring in that one. All right, guys. That takes care of that. That brings us over to the WLA and the MSL. Let's start with the WLA. First of all, before we get into the games, Victoria got a little bit stronger, or a lot stronger. Clark Peterson is now part of that team. So we know he's not sticking around with MSL with Brampton. We know he's not sticking around with PLL with Atlas. Let's see how he does over in Victoria, man. My team.
Yeah, they're be juggernaut.
Not a rebuild year. It's
No.
a win it year. Want to see these guys come east, and whether it's Peterborough or Six Nations or Oakville or whatever. But even dug out the Peterson junior shirt for the occasion. All right, let's enthrall us with some WLA action, guys. Mike?
Yeah. We'll start with the season opener. Burnaby paid a visit to
Yes,
Westminster.
they are, Tony. Yes, they are.
Yes. So Burnaby paid a visit to New Westminster, Queen's Park Arena, to open the season. New Westminster came out with a 14-9 win on the strength of a big second period where they outscored Burnaby 8-4. Will Malcolm putting up a sock trick for New Westminster along with 2 assists. Kevin Crowley had 3 and 4. Jeff Cornwall had a hat trick in this game. And I don't know if we ever mentioned all the guys who joined Brooklyn last week.
Yeah.
But one of them was Zach Higgins.
Yes, he was.
So maybe a little bit of a blow to New West's hopes to repeat as WLA champions, but don't tell that to Neil Tyak because he turned aside 48 shots in the win. So
just needed the opportunity. That's all.
Yeah. Stars for Burnaby, Jacob Dunbar, 3 goals, 2 assists. Ben Stewart had 2 goals and 3 assists. Thomas Vela, 2 and 2. Sam LaRue, a pair of goals. Keegan Milenichuk had 35 saves in the losing effort.
All right. Let's move over to Friday. And my Shamrocks looked good against Langley, did they not?
Yeah, a 12-6 win, and definitely a new look Langley team too. No Robert Church, no Dane Doby, no Curtis Dixon, no Frank Chiliano. You want to talk about a rebuild year? This is probably Langley's rebuild year, and right off the hop, 5-0 for the Shamrocks, and Langley got a couple goals early in the second period to make it 5-2. But again, another 4-goal run by Shamrocks. Pull up some stats here. Jesse King had a hat trick and 7 points. Kyle Pepper had 5 assists. Arthur Miller, 2 goals, 2 assists. Thomas Vason, 2 goals, 2 assists. They went with they got that goaltending duo of Chris O'Riglieri and Cam Dunkerley. They went with Dunkerley. He's put aside 32 of 38 shots in the win. For the Thunder, Chase Scanlon. We have 3 Scanlons on the team, so bear with me here. 2 goals and 2 assists. Charles Scanlon, a goal and 2 assists. Tristan Kirkham, a goal and an assist. And Aiden Walsh actually got the start for Thunder. And he was berarded with shots with 44 saves on 56 shots.
Wow. All right, we had another game on Friday night. We had the Lakers and the Adanacs.
Yes, we did. So Burnaby was able to hold off Coquitlam and salvage a split for the weekend, winning 12-11 with the goal in the last couple of minutes. Burnaby got out to a 6-2 lead after one period, but at one point they were up 11-6 in the third, and Coquitlam reeled off 5 straight goals to tie the game before Ben McDonald hit the game winner with about a little over 2 minutes left in the game. For Burnaby, McDonald finished with 2 goals and 4 assists. Dunbar had another hat trick along with 3 assists. Trevane Hunter, 2 goals. Sam LaRue had a goal. Ben Stewart and Thomas Vela both had a goal and 2 assists. And they went with Alex Bouquet in net, and he turned aside 50 shots in the win. So, looking like
I always smile when I hear his name.
pretty decent tandem they have in Burnaby, so they might be a team to watch out for, make a little waves this year. For Coquitlam, Brian Gillis, 3 goals and 2 assists. Tyler Kirkby had 2 and 3. Keen Moon had 2 and 1. Few NLL guys, Matt Delmonico, Adam Noakes, Eric Turner, each had a goal in the game. Andrew Gallant made 32 saves in the losing effort.
Very cool. And Saturday night we had the Adanaks and the Timbermen. Yeah,
a little bit of a surprise here, I think. You think Nanaimo with the seasons they've had would be a little bit of a favorite going in, but the Adanaks down them 10-5. Close game off the first, 1-1 with goals from Keen Moon and Colton Lindstone. And then the Adex just kind of pulled away in that second or even the last, 40 minutes there with outscoring the Timbermen 9-4. Andrew Gallant got the start for the Adanacs, stopped 54 shots out of 59 in the win. So he stood on his head and got the win.
Wow.
Yeah. And for the Adanacs, Keen Moon had the hat trick and an assist. Tyler Kirkby had 2 goals and an assist. Brian Gillis with a goal, 2 assists. Over the Timbermen, it was a quiet night, especially for some of the firepower they've got over there. Zach Mans had a goal and 3 assists. Kyle Playstead had a goal and assist, and Colton Lidstone a goal and assist. And a little bit of a head scratcher. They went with Colby Bowman in goal instead of Justin Getty. And he stopped 35 of 45 shots in the loss.
Right. And we got one going on right now, and it's Victoria up ahead 6-5 with about
3
a
minutes.
couple of minutes left in the game. Nice low scoring game there.
4, yeah. So 17, yeah, about 3 minutes left in the game. So Maple Ridge holding on though, holding strong.
Yeah,
so they are. They kept that powerful Shamrocks team down to only 6 goals. However,
yep,
yeah,
that strange thing where if you can't get any goals yourself. But in the MSL, we've only got one game under our belt so far, and that was on Monday night, and that was Owen Sound, relatively new team, and playing Six Nations, your Man Cup defending champions. And it's funny because that first period had everybody scratching their heads. First off, that Owen Sound got the first goal. About 4 minutes into the game, Curtis Hall scored. Beautiful goal. But then the Austin Stott show began. By the way, he got 7 in this game. When he decides to play, I talked with him before the game, and when we're actually just in the lobby there, and when he's just relaxed, calm, focused, great guy, and when he settles down just to play, a phenomenal talent, like we all knew. It's when all the extracurricular stuff comes on and it goes kind of silly on him. But if he can ever get that under control, man, we'll be watching for his induction speech in the Hall of Fames, because he is just such a gifted player, and he's such a big yet nimble guy that he reckless abandon. He didn't care, like a bull in a china shop heading to the net, and very hard to stop. But getting on from there, Jake McNabb came up with a pair of goals, including a shorthanded goal, and it was very quiet in Six Nations. There was over 1,000 people there for the bread and cheese game, and all of a sudden, Owen Sound's up 3-1. Shane Jackson and Austin Stotts scored near the end of the first, and it was 3-3 at the end of the first period. And up in the press box, I was talking with the couple of the Chiefs guys and broadcasters, Daryl Smart and one. We're talking about how good Caleb Martin looked in net, and because he was just making some incredible saves side to side, and they were testing him. We're just curious the staying power of Owen Sound. And, sure enough, second period starts, and Dante Kuloth scores for Owen Sound. It's 4-3 Owen Sound. And again, things are quiet over at the ILA. Little did they know that would be the last goal that Owen Sound scored of the evening. And it was all Chiefs from that point on. Warren Hill was spectacular in net. He didn't give up a goal from the 3-minute mark of the second period to the end of the game. In the rest of that game, it was a 12-goal run from Six Nations to pretty much put an exclamation point on this game. Randy Stotts had a couple of goals. He joined in. Austin Stotts, they traded goals. Stotts came up with about 3 or 4 of them in that thing. Lyle Thompson finished the second period with a pair of goals himself. Again, you want to talk about a stacked team? Well, but funny enough, somebody had brought up, I believe it was Dave Durrani, one of the former legends from New West, talking about, buying the team or whatever. This isn't outside talent. This isn't looking at other guys from somewhere else. This is guys from the reservation, man. Lyle Thompson,
yeah.
Austin Stotts, Randy Stotts, Ross Hill had a couple of goals in his game. Again, all guys from the area. Yeah. Zane Delp got his first ever MSL goal. And last, of course, we had Austin Stotts scoring an unassisted goal with 1:15 left. Your final score was 15-4. Six Nations looking good. Talking with Rich Kilgore, one of the coaches after the game, just a little smile on his face saying, "Yep, looked pretty good tonight, didn't we?" Yeah, we talked a little bit about the first period, going a little bit of a feeling out process, but once you got that out, was all rudders forward, and away they went. And of course, I met up with this gentleman after the game, head coach John Tavares. Winning a championship with Buffalo doesn't stop him. 2 days later, he's behind the bench over in Six Nations. And of course, me and my natural habitat up in the press box. So a good night was had by all. This week we have a little bit more going on in MSL. The real season gets rolling on Wednesday. Owen Sound is in Brooklyn. That should be a heck of a game. You want to talk about a team that's full of talent. Brooklyn is one of those teams. They actually have a goaltending issue now with you have Ryan Chatowski there, you have Riley Hutchcraft there, you have Zach Higgins. You have a lot of people there who are all very, very good players. A lot of the guys on that team are guys I've been to Prague with. So it's a very, very talented team. Saturday, June 1st in Owen Sound, Brooklyn is playing them in a repeat game, a home and home. On Sunday, you have Brampton going over to Coburg, and they will be over at the Coburg Community Center. Bring a jacket, guys. Coburg's beautiful all day long, and then it's like going into a meat logger when you go into that arena. Beautiful place, but boy, oh boy, does it get cold when you're sitting there. But it's a great time over there. It's always great to run into Ron Messer, who used to do the PA stuff for the Toronto Rock back around 2010, 2011. And he does stuff for the Gales. He does stuff for Clarington. He does stuff for Coburg, for Brooklyn. So it's great to run into him. Run into him every now and again in the Peterborough games too. So busy week over busier week in major series. Which leads us over to our last stop of the evening, and that is the beginnings of the PLL season. And
just before you get started, looks like that WLA game's gone final. It looks like Victoria won 6-5 over Maple Ridge.
Wow. So they can play defense too, eh, boys?
I guess so, yeah.
Hopefully I get a chance to wear this more than once this summer. Last summer, it just wasn't happening. Between that and Atlas, I never really had a chance to put those on. So I'm hoping at the New York Atlas, let's just gander and gaze and enjoy their roster. Well, again, we walk down to 3 from the end on the right column and see Jeff Teat, and things are all looking good with the world. You look 3 from the top and the left column, you see Trevor Baptiste, and things are looking good. Having Reed Bowering over there and a few of the other guys there never hurts either. So I'm very, very optimistic about the New York Atlas. And since the first week is in Albany at this new system, they get the first 2 games, 2-game weekend.
Their homecoming.
So,
Yep.
They open up against Philadelphia in the first game on Saturday at 1. And then they finish off that weekend at the Sunday late game against the Maryland Whipsnakes. So in between that,
the first one I thought the Archers and the Water Dogs.
Yeah, Archers and Water Dogs.
Right, Utah. Yeah, you're right. They're playing Boston. They're playing Boston.
Okay,
anyway.
so they're playing Boston Saturday and who Sunday?
Yeah. They're playing the Maryland Whipsnakes.
Whipsnakes, okay. Yeah, I was just going to note the goalie situation's going to be awfully interesting there. Looks like Jack Concannon is out, and you have Tim Troutner coming over from Redwoods, and Liam Entenmann.
Quarter in there too.
Yeah, Liam Entenmann, who could be winning another national championship tomorrow with Notre Dame. So
again, the word optimistic is really, really coming into my views there. Well, here's where I lean on you guys a little bit. And what are your thoughts on who do you think are the early favorites, and who do you think are the ones that are going to kind of make us go? start
I
with
guess I'll take a stab. I mean, I think you gotta make the Archers the favorite. Now I'm gonna say that Atlas and Outlaws probably had the best drafts
Mm-hmm.
of the 8 teams, but I just right now I have a hard time.
It's a heck of a lineup, isn't it?
I have a hard time betting
Yeah.
against this Archers team. With,
That's a heck of a lineup they got there.
I mean, there's a few guys gone. Connor DeSimone, I believe, is elsewhere now. But I mean, you got Fields, you've got Schreiber, you've got Grant Ament. Sisselberger had a heck of a year
Mm-hmm.
campaign
Yeah.
at the dot last year. So and Brett Dobson in net, basically winning the championship, for them on that last
Especially with
second
that
save.
last
So,
save.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that last second save. So, not what the folks in Philly here want to hear. they were hoping for back-to-back champions coming in,
Mm-hmm.
with their city's assignment to them. But Water Dogs too. I can't I can't overlook
Right.
what they've done. I don't know that they've done there's a whole lot of changes there. You're still gonna you see with the attack, they're still gonna be leaning on Sowers is probably going to be their guy at the X.
Mhm.
He, McArdle, and Walker. They've been playing together for a few years now, along with guys like Ryan Conrad, Connor Kelly, Zach Courier, and I believe Connor Kelly led the league in 2-point goals last year, or
Right.
has the most 2-point goals over the last couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. So. With them, there's always maybe a few questions on defense, but they've got some heavy hitters there: Liam Burns, Gobrecht, Ben Randall, of course.
I wonder about the goalie situation though. Again,
It's a legit question. Where we kind of don't know what's going on with Dylan Ward. He just didn't seem himself with Colorado. For chunks of this past season.
and he had to leave again.
Yeah.
At the end of the season for another injury. So don't know if he's 100% healthy. It's getting to that point of his career. He's still a great goalie, don't get me wrong. But do you really want to put yourself through that kind of rehab to be back at that elite level? So
yeah, I mean,
remains to be seen. But
Yeah.
that's my one question mark on it. I like some of the additions too. Like I say, I love McConvey as a player, period. And I think he's going to give him a little bit extra room outside of the box. And man, he's going to just go to town. So I think that's a great addition for that team.
So with Ward, I would ask, do you think he's at the age where he might have to pick one or the other between field and box?
I think so.
He's there.
I think we're close to it.
Yeah.
I think we're close to it, especially if he wants something to do with the World Indoor Box Championships in September. I don't think that body can handle 12 months of it anymore. So I think he's going to have to either pick and choose where he plays in the summer and when, or he might pay for it come fall into training camp into the next season again. And I don't think Colorado can handle another season of question marks. Too talented a team to finish off like they did this year.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good point, adding World Lacrosse, because that's going to apply to a lot of players.
Oh, yeah.
Here.
Yeah, and I was going to say, you look at
Which
the
is
number.
another reason why you're seeing some guys not playing
Canadian
summer
teams.
ball in WLA or MSL too, right?
And honestly, even players, who are playing for, guys who are playing for other international teams, guys who might be playing for Scotland or Israel, or, Marcus Minichiello for Jamaica comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's. Do we know when those rosters might be announced for World Lacrosse, or have they already been?
I think
So
training
there's
rosters
gonna
have
be
been
any
out
kind
there,
of
but I don't. They'd have to get
Okay.
together before they can start.
so they're
going
just
through
gonna
that.
kind of have like mini camps and then go, hey, here's our roster. We're
Pretty
going,
much.
you know.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So we're not gonna know probably till just
Probably
before
until
the spring.
midsummer, end of summer. And then by that time, they have a good idea who's going to be there. But
Yeah,
these guys have to pace themselves also. So,
yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking more from the perspective of U.S. and Canada that just those camps are going to be ultra competitive, and there's going to
Yeah.
be so many players wanting to go
Well,
out.
that's what I was just thinking about Ward, right? There's so many good Canadian goaltenders there that he may not even crack that roster,
Mhm.
especially if he's not 100%.
Israel's come up with some good teams
Which,
lately
hey,
too, but they have a whole other.
3 years ago, that was unfathomable to think that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say Israel's come up with a couple of good teams over the last field and box tournaments. But in the Rubeski tournament, things got real in a hurry with everything being unstable out in Israel and Gaza and the rest of that. That I watched a couple of guys get called back who were on furloughs from military to do these tournaments. So I'm not sure how these teams are going to be put together because of that, and because of
Yeah.
if things are
Yeah.
still upheaval. Hopefully by then there's a solution and things have calmed itself down. But like I say, at the Rubeski tournament, that first night, I think Team Israel lost two guys that had to fly back because the military called them back in. So things get real in a hurry, and things are very unsteady. So
Yeah.
it's a shame when you got to put real life politics into sport because life is life, right?
Yeah.
So, but moving on with that, Shawn, who do you think is your front runner for the PLL?
Yeah, I'm kind of going to be boring. I'm going to kind of say it's hard to pick against Atlas. You put up Atlas's roster there. One name that really jumped out to me was Peyton Cormier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's had an outstanding NCAA year. Time to see what he can do with pros. And again, look at that lineup. This is not going to be a 2-8 team again. I just can't see it. But then, like you said, it's hard to bet against the Archers as well. So I know I'm taking a boring stance here, but it's really hard to bet against those two teams.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, can we take a look at like Outlaws and Redwoods real quick?
Sure. Here's the Outlaws.
That's
right,
looks like
Buchanan.
Cannons. Oh, but Cannons, but that, I mean, look at that attack. With Pat Cavanaugh coming in to play with Matt Cavanaugh, Holman, who I think led the league in scoring last year.
Yeah, Charlotte Beatis and Knowlton.
Yeah,
Beatis,
Knowlton. I mean, that's going to be that's a potent, and then some of those midfielders who play attack too, Chris Aslanian, Ryan Drenner. I mean, that's going to be there's wow.
When you can look at this lineup and go, Lyle, who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have Lyle Thompson, but I mean, boy, even on the defense, I mean, they got Garrett Epple now to add to Kelty and Van Raphorst, Zach Goodrich, Fairman, Jeff Trainer, played with Albany this year, NLL. And then, of course, Ethan Rawl. I mean, Ethan Rawl just had a stellar rookie season last year and is pretty much, short list, I think, best long stick middies in the league.
So here's the Redwoods.
Yeah, the Redwoods are interesting. They some guy, they had what looked like at the start of free agency kind of a mass exodus of some guys, but I think they've kind of turned some things around here with some of their with some of the guys they did acquire. I mean, I just looking Levi Anderson, obviously. You got to hope for kind of a turnaround year from Charlie Bertrand. He kind of had a down year last year, which unfortunately kind of translated into his year at
he battled injury, so that was a really rough year for him.
But picking up Jared Connors certainly helps. I see Romar Dennis. I think that Romar Dennis for Miles Jones trade last year really helped both guys. Just that whole change of scenery.
Yeah, I gave him a new
Kind
lease
of
on life.
really, it really kind of jump started both of them again. Obviously, Ryder Garnsey, Rob Pennell are going to be your anchors on the attack. Having Chris Gray as an addition is big. And of course, like I said, Anderson. Just looking at the other side, Alex Simmons. I mean, what can you say about Alex Simmons that hasn't been said, with the NLL season he just had.
Right.
So, I mean, the only question might be maybe just kind of who's going to back up Jack Kelly at this point. Right. So,
all right.
In net.
So we got Denver.
And Denver, I mean, this is an interesting group. I mean, obviously, Brennan O'Neill is going to be huge. And I see that this is where Connor DeSimone landed. Unfortunately, they don't have Brendan Nickturn, but, I think those guys will certainly make up for it. Look at the year that Cross Ferrara had last year.
Despite the way you got Logan Wischuska, so this at his very best too, right?
I was going to say Zwada too's had a heck of a year because I know he's a Rush draft pick and he's had a heck of a year in NCAA. So we'll see what he can do in pros.
Yeah, and the midfield maybe took a little bit of a blow because I believe Jordan McIntosh retired. But I mean, look at that defense too. Look at not only the short stick middies, but the standard defenseman, and then Jake Paceno too. He had a heck of a year for Albany. Right. So, and still plenty of speed there too with guys like Tarasenko, even Messenger, JT Giles Harris, and a lot of physicality too with Messenger and Mike Manley. So plus you have Connor Farrell face-offs. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking they're probably going to have to rely on that D just because there's some good attack there, but not a lot of depth compared to other teams.
Yeah. Well, and I think with the size, it maybe, might be some question marks about transition. Just, hey, how quickly are they going to be moving the ball up the field?
Right. Yeah. All right. We'll move ourselves over to the Whip Snakes.
Whip Snakes. I'm not sure what to make of them because just the way they kind of.
Yeah, it's one of those lineups which it doesn't.
It's like and most people just tend to think like, okay, hey, these were the guys who they went back to back to start the league with wins, title wins, and kind of have fallen off since then. But this is definitely an interesting group. I mean, Nardell is one of the best face-off guys in the game, so that's always a plus.
Having Poitras there also is big. Yeah.
Definitely, and Will Manny, is you know what you're going to get out of a guy like Will Manny,
and a rejuvenated Matt Rambo.
Yeah, and I'd be interested to see how Matt Dunn does too there. He's been kind of he's actually got the Colorado Mammoth have his rights for box, and but he hasn't played the last couple of seasons, so I wonder if he was coming off injury or something like that.
Right.
And of course, I mentioned Zappatello too, one of their high draft picks, who's going to be playing for a title tomorrow against Notre Dame. So,
it's going to be interesting to see how they mesh together. The last one on our list, of course, is the Buffalo. I mean the Carolina Chaos. And of course, a lot of these guys are still hungover from last week.
Yeah, obviously, those are going to be the guys that stand out there. You've got, you got Josh Byrne, you've got Ian McKay. So, I don't see Dane
You get a
Smith.
booming shot from Sergei Perkovic.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Josh
I
Byrne,
don't see Dane Smith or Chase Fraser there, but you have
Dane
Blaze
Smith, as far as I know, is going to be playing with Six Nations,
with Six Nations.
Nations.
So,
but he's not on their roster yet. So
you've got Blaze Reardon in that, so that's that you always have a chance to win. Well, when you've got him back there, so obviously Jack Rowlett and Nick Rowlett playing together, that's going to be a tough combo.
Yeah, it's well, and again, someone like CJ Kostiuk, he's always dangerous.
Yep, 2-point threat.
Yeah, the big booming shot. So and of course Ian McKay, can't say enough about him, and give him more area to run around too. Because like I say, in Buffalo, if you would have given him goalie equipment, he'd have put that on. He does everything for him. So
yeah,
to put that kind of energy into that team too, that's interesting. But me personally, of course, I'm biased. I'm going with that.
Yeah, and I saw Ty Kurtz's name there too. So that's he's coming off obviously a great box season. So
right,
and there's a guy yeah, he's already doing well with very little time and space. Now you're giving him a whole lot more time and space, in the field.
Yeah,
he's going to be even more lethal. So,
well, that bell picks up this weekend, and we're into the regular season. No more sixes and no more other things. It's all there, and a number of games on the regular networks on ABC, which is great. And if not, you can get them on ESPN, one of those networks, and TSN Plus for all of it. So looking forward to all of that. That's going to be exciting. Again, starting up this Saturday at 1. So, you can dive into all kinds of lacrosse, even though the NLL is done.
Yeah, and I believe they'll every weekend they'll have at least one of the 4 games will be on some sort of a linear network, whether it's ESPNU, ESPN2, ABC. So
I'll tell you though, that All-Star game is going to be something to behold too. You look at the talent level that's in there now. Holy smokes!
Oh, yeah.
Never mind, it'd be a 65 to 63 game, but just the skills competition itself is going to be something just to behold. So, I just want to remind everybody that we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, we are on Thread, as well as being on YouTube. Please check us out, any and all, because there is stuff everywhere for you. Especially on Facebook, we have everything up to the moment, up to date, all the games, all the different leagues. We are your one-stop shop. As I've said before, we are your Costco of lacrosse. And again, we always have our thumb on the pulse of the situation, getting up to date, getting all the information from you, from behind the scenes, from our sources. Please also have a look at our YouTube page. Please subscribe, tell people about it. Let's get that thing rolling again, because there is a lot of stuff going on there in the summer. There's going to be more games coming up in the next couple of weeks. And, of course, more interviews, more other things too. So please give it a look as well. It's really a nice extra tool to just be able to get things that we can't put just little snippets out in regular Facebook or Twitter or something like that, where I can get the whole thing out to you on YouTube. So please do that. We're into last words, guys. Shawn, I'm going to start out with you. Any last words?
Yeah, just a busy time out west here with a lot of Junior A action between the BC and Rocky Mountain Lacrosse League, and of course WLA. So really looking forward to it.
Mike?
Yeah, echo Shawn. He and I will be tag teaming WLA. We've got 7 games this weekend, and then obviously the 4 PLL games next weekend too. So
and I will be putting a lot of miles on my cars with Junior, with OSL. Owen Sound is a 2-hour drive, guys. Six Nations is only about an hour and 10 hour and 15 minutes. Owen Sound is a 2-hour drive. It's further than Peterborough for me.
So. It's funny though with us with WLA, with Shawn and I mean, after next weekend, the season will be like 20% done already.
Yeah, they've heavy loaded it right in the beginning.
I have some busy weeks ahead of me still, but doing MSL and OSL and
Yeah.
OJLL and things like that. So
Yeah, I can't play. Yeah, you've got 42 games there, MSL. So Shawn and I are splitting 63. So
yep, I got that, but add the OSL and then also my share of PLL.
yeah.
We're going to be busy, guys, but we are going to have everything up as quickly after the game as we can for you. So we will keep you very relevant with all the information from all the games. So you're going to want to check back with us 2, 3, 4 times a day. Plus, we'll have the free agents signings coming up not far away, guys. As soon as we just rest on it, before you know it, we're talking about free agency. So that's coming up, and as well as preambles towards the draft. And, before you know it, we're talking about World Lacrosse and the World Championships. And things are going to get busy continually. We might be able to get a week where we can go, but I doubt it because there's always something going on.
No, we just had it.
That was our lull for 51 more weeks of lacrosse before we get another one of those. But in some of the weeks where there's not as much going on, just like last year, we'll have guests coming on as well. Already had a number of people reach out and are happy to come on the show. So, stay tuned for announcements of who and when for that as well. Should be exciting times.
Yeah, and don't forget Muffler either. So
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Come the fall, and that's going to go crazy on us as well. And again, the new commissioner and assistant commissioner are both old acquaintances of mine, and we've had a few conversations. So we're going to be doing quite a bit with them, and to help bolster visibility of the league. So should be exciting, and we should be able to get a couple more things going on because of that. With that, so it's gonna be exciting, guys. Anyways, that'll wrap us up for this week. For Shawn Slaght over sorry, Shawn.
In Moose Jaw.
I'm so used to you heading to Rush games.
Yeah.
But over in Moose Jaw, and for Muffler Mike over in Connecticut, I'm Gary Groob in Toronto, wishing you the best of weeks. Remember, always keep your stick in your hands, guys, because who knows, you might be catching a pass from a long distance. Until next week, we'll see you again real soon.